All right, man. Let's talk about Triple G legacy. I will also talk about Triple G. Middleweight. So I don't know if you'll see that video first or you'll see this one first. I don't know. Um, but yeah, which where I stand at with Triple G legacy at, I think it's overrated. All right, his legacy came down to 3 fights with Canelo, and like I said, and two other questionable victories to add up all five of them, and that's what it is. Never thought he was that great, but he did win a title from David Lemieux. That's the one guy, that one champion he took a title from. You know what I'm saying? So, the vacant belt that he got versus Derevchenko, I mean, that was another tough fight. The Danny Jacobs fight was another tough fight. And a lot of people think both those fights should have went to get against him. It was all the hype he had coming over to America. It was a tremendous loads of hype, and that's just what he is hype. That's it. Had he end up beating Canelo Alvarez in a trilogy, then I wouldn't have no problem like putting him in the Hall of Fame. But he didn't. And to me, he ain't no Hall of Famer based on what? You know, two of his best victories, his top victories are both questionable when you start going off the names. When you start talking about Danny Jacobs, you start talking about Sergey Derevchenko, you start talking about those names, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I could run off the list of opponents: Canelo Alvarez, Murata, Camille Zamata, Derevchenko, Steve Rose, Canelo, Manas Monterosian on short notice, Canelo, Danny Jacobs, Kell Brook, Dominic Wade, David Lemieux, Willie Monroe, Mark Murray, Marco Antonio Rubio, Daniel Gill, Adama, Curtis Stevens, Matthew Macklin, Ashita, Gabriel Rosado, Greg Proska. Those are his American opponents. Another opponent people know, Kasim Uma, which, he was fighting the older Kasim Uma. And Uma was giving him some good work. So, like I said before, you start going through some of these names, it's not a great resume. He sit here and he cherry picked his way all the way to Canelo, and he didn't close the deal. Didn't drop Canelo, had a tired Canelo right in front of him in the first fight, couldn't close the show. In the second fight, he got thoroughly beat. In the third fight, he got thoroughly beat. It was a lackluster performance on Canelo Alvarez's part. It is what it is. We speak. Maybe I speak on that later, a different day, different time. That's just what it is. His five type fights, three of them he came short up against Canelo Alvarez. Two of them were both debatable and questionable victories. You got to wonder if Chocolito don't lose to my man Sora Riebenstein, do Canelo Alvarez lose to Danny Jacobs? Because I felt that they didn't want both of them to lose on the same night. When I was flying home from that fight, we was debating that on the plane ride back home. You know, and dudes with Triple G hats on, they know he lost, but I ain't really tripping about it. Boxing is an opinion, is only opinionated sport. Combat sports are only opinionated sports, even after the outcome is determined. It's the truth. You can knock somebody out, and people can have 1,000 excuses, glove, raps. Oh, he was malnutrition, he was drained, all that type of stuff. Gennadiy Golovkin, his resume is overrated. His top five best fights, three of them two of them was losses, a draw. You know what I'm saying? And two of them was debatable victories. Debatable victories for somebody who's supposed to be this knockout king. Debatable victories. So I mean, we could say, you could say what you want to say, but it's a very overrated resume. If you change the name, you change the color of his skin, you hear everybody saying exactly what the hell I'm saying, right here and now. It's nothing glorious, nothing Hall of Fame worthy about his career, unless you talking throwing the amateurs there as well too. Nothing special. He was a knockout puncher when he stepped in the competition, like a lot of knockout punchers, right? When the competition stepped up, he became average and lackluster. That's exactly what it was and what it is. So nothing great about this dude's resume. Nothing. Nothing. He was match made perfectly. And that's one thing you tip your hat off to, matchmaking. He couldn't have beat Kelly Pavlik. He couldn't have beat Arthur Abraham at middleweight. He couldn't have beat a lot of those guys. You know, and he played this role like everybody was ducking him, trying to like Andre Ward was ducking him, and all these guys were ducking him, Peter Quillen, and he lowballing guys, or then, ducking guys behind the scenes and trying to play the role. Hilarious. And people will sit here and debate and say, well, Triple G, this doesn't third. Y'all just don't like Triple G. It ain't got nothing to do about not liking or liking Triple G. It's about the facts. Then they start counting up his regular title, WBA title defenses, like they was real, like it was real title defenses. It's not a real title. It's not. So you can miss me with title defenses. You can miss me. His career came down the way it was match made. It came down to defeating Canelo Alvarez. And he had one job to do, and he never formally can close the deal. And that's what it is. He never formally can close the deal. Never. He never can close the deal. And that's what it is. He never went out there and fought Pavlik, fought Abraham, tried to rematch Lucian Bute in the pros, try to fight Carl Frost, try to fight George Groves, came over a little bit late, and Sergio Martinez was already done. Chavez had already fell off. So whatever his reason is for coming over to America late, some people said he had promotional issues. It is what it is. He didn't fight those guys. Then when Sergio Martinez started, limping around, then he had that war with Chavez. Then he went across the street. So it is what it is. It is what it is. But he's not Hall of Fame worthy. He's not the worthy of great names. He came up short, and that's what happened when you match make around other formidable and great fighters. That's exactly what happens. Had he fought them all, maybe his resume looked good, And then usually guys, who got the power that he got in his hands, man, in the chin he got, they don't mind going up there and fighting top level fighters. And he didn't. He didn't fight the top guys. Whether he was lowballing guys or whatever going on or the politics, he didn't. He waited for a handout from Canelo. When it came time, Canelo was tired of fronting him in the first fight. He didn't close the deal. You can say it was robbed and all. You a knockout artist. What happened? What happened? What happened? That's the crazy part about it. What happened to all them knockouts and big drama show and Mexican style? It was time to go all the way in on Canelo Alvarez. You didn't. You waited at the fence. You didn't kick in this door, waving the fofo, saying, Biggie, I want no more. No, you didn't do none of that. You didn't. So, that's just my thing about it. You didn't do everything possible in your career. Then when you got in the ring with Canelo Alvarez, you didn't do everything in your power. You didn't do everything in your power to win the fight. He was in it. He was the definition of a mercenary in boxing. He was in it for the gusto. He was in it for the gusto. That's it. He was in it for $1. But who gonna really call a spade a spade? Who really gonna call a spade a spade? People gonna say, "Oh, I mean, you hating on Gennadiy." I'm not hating. I mean, what he's done so great in his career? Nothing. Nothing but come up short and have questionable, debatable victories in his top fights. He waited for Canelo and couldn't close the deal in 3 tries. And that's the bottom line. And that's the bottom line. He was a hype train that a lot of people didn't want to admit that was a hype train. Ain't no way you could watch that second Canelo Alvarez fight and say that he won that fight. No way. And you can't say he won the third fight. So what now? You know? So we talk about what's next coming up in him, but an overrated legacy. And it's nothing personal. I got nothing personal against him. I actually was kind of rooting for him to beat Canelo Alvarez. It's not personal. He was just match made, he was just in it for the money. And that's it. So let me know what you girls and guys think. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. And subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notification, increase your chance, get notification. We go live and drop video. Financially, you want to support the channel, Cash App, $, CJ Good 313, Venmo CJ Good 313, PayPal link description. Shout out to my brother Vinny Ochoa for supporting the channel. Hit the link tree. Find me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, and the whole nine. Let me know what you girls and guys think in the comment section. Peace.